Ever wondered where the thrilling game of hockey originated? Picture this. It's the year 1834, in the heart of Canada. The ground is blanketed with snow, the water bodies frozen solid. The Canadian winter, harsh and unforgiving, set the stage for the birth of a sport that would soon capture the hearts of millions. British soldiers stationed in Kingston, Ontario and Halifax, Nova Scotia, sought to break the monotony of the long, chilly winters. Inspired by the game of field hockey, they took to the frozen rivers and lakes armed with curved sticks and rubber balls. This was no mere pastime. It was an ingenious adaptation of a beloved sport, a testament to the resilience and innovation of these soldiers. There were no fancy rinks or roaring crowds, just the stark beauty of the Canadian landscape, the crunch of boots on snow, and the whirring sound of the rubber ball skittering across the ice. The soldiers' breath fogged up in the cold air as they darted about, their laughter and shouts echoing across the frozen landscape. They were not just playing a game, they were writing the first chapter in the story of hockey. These informal, boisterous games were the humble beginnings of what we now know as hockey. The soldiers might not have realized it at the time, but their winter pastime was the spark that would ignite a global phenomenon. The curved sticks, the rubber ball, the frozen playing field. These were the rudimentary elements that would evolve over time into the fast-paced, adrenaline-fueled sport we love today. So next time you watch a hockey match, remember those British soldiers. Remember that frozen Canadian landscape, the echo of laughter and shouts, and the sound of a rubber ball skittering across the ice. It was their ingenuity, their love for sport, and their ability to adapt that gave birth to this exhilarating game. So it was the British soldiers who, driven by the harsh Canadian winters, laid the foundation for what we now know as hockey. How did this informal winter pastime evolve into a formal, globally recognized sport? Well, just like other sports, hockey too had its share of evolution and formalization. The pivotal moment came in the winter of 1884 at the prestigious McGill University in Montreal, Canada. Here, the first known organized indoor game was played, marking a turning point in the sport's evolution. The game, originally played on frozen bodies of water, now moved indoors, with the rink's surface mirroring the size of a typical Canadian ice rink. The players traded their rubber balls for wooden pucks to prevent the puck from bouncing out of the playing area. The teams were also reduced to 9 players each, a change from the flexible team sizes in the informal games. In 1886, just 2 short years after that pivotal game at McGill University, the first hockey association was established, the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada, or AHAC. The association comprised 4 teams from Montreal and 1 from Quebec City. The AHAC was instrumental in standardizing the rules, bringing structure to the game, and paving the way for competitive play. Now let's fast forward to 1909. The professional era of hockey began with the formation of the National Hockey Association, or NHA. The NHA introduced the 6-man game, which is still used today in the National Hockey League, or NHL. Through these changes, the sport of hockey evolved from a casual winter pastime to a regulated, structured game. The establishment of rules brought consistency and fairness, which was pivotal in attracting a larger audience and participants. The formation of associations and leagues provided the necessary platform for the sport to grow and flourish. Thus, from a casual winter game, hockey transformed into a formal sport with established rules, setting the stage for its global recognition. And the rest, as they say, is history. How did hockey spread its wings and become a global phenomenon? Let's start with the turn of the 20th century, when the game of hockey was beginning to take flight. The sport had already found its footing in Canada, but it was time to cross borders and make a name on the international stage. In 1908, the International Ice Hockey Federation was established. This not only gave the sport a governing body, but also facilitated its spread across Europe. Countries like Germany, Switzerland, and Belgium were quick to embrace the thrill of the game, forming their own national teams and leagues. But the real game changer came in the 1920s. The sport was included in the Olympic Games for the first time in 1920 during the Summer Olympics in Antwerp, Belgium. It was a peculiar choice given the summer season, but it set the stage for hockey's grand entrance into the Winter Olympics 4 years later in Chamonix, France. This inclusion in the Olympics gave hockey the global platform it needed, exposing the sport to a worldwide audience and sparking international interest. Meanwhile, back in North America, the National Hockey League was taking shape. Formed in 1917, the NHL started with just 4 teams, but it wasn't long before the league expanded, bringing in teams from across Canada and the United States. The NHL's thrilling games and star players captivated audiences and helped to popularize the sport further, making it a staple of North American sports culture. From there, the sport continued to spread, reaching countries as far-flung as Australia, South Africa, and even the United Arab Emirates. Today, there are over 80 countries with their own ice hockey federations, and the sport is enjoyed by millions of fans around the globe. Hockey's journey from Canadian lakes to the international sports stage is truly a testament to its thrilling nature and universal appeal. So, what have we learned about the history of hockey? Well, we've journeyed from the icy rivers and lakes of Canada in the early 19th century, where British soldiers first improvised a game using curved sticks and rubber balls. This was the dawn of hockey, a game derived from field hockey, crafted by the hands of the resilient, adapted to the harsh winter conditions. We then moved on to the pivotal year of 1884, when the game saw its first formalization at McGill University. This was an era of evolution, a time when rules were established, equipment was standardized, and hockey began to take the shape we recognize today. Finally, we traced hockey's meteoric rise to global fame. From being a localized Canadian winter pastime, it transformed into an international phenomenon, uniting people across continents in their shared love for the sport. From frozen Canadian landscapes to international sports arenas, hockey's journey is a rich tapestry of innovation, passion, and global unity. Truly, the history of hockey is as thrilling as the game itself.